Okay, this is going to be my video on going through all of the digestive system mannequin parts, some of it computerized, and where you're gonna find your materials. Here's the outline that we would use if we were in lab class, of course. Here's a PowerPoint that's over all of the histology slides. I'll have a separate video for that. This is the video thing. I call it a video document. What I'm going to be using a blank exam sheet if you want to practice writing things down at home. There's a review, and then here's some blank diagrams like I would always give you. So we're going to start here. Once again, I have a video for the slides. All right. So on mannequin structures of the digestive system, the esophagus. Now I'm going to have to go past this one picture. This is our very expensive lab model. The one with the green backs, those are the expensive ones. And here is the upper digestive system. Here's the nasal cavity, the oral cavity, the trachea, and then see this long tube that's coming down right here? That's the esophagus. So if I jump over to this little computer animation, you can see that long tube going down. And anyway, and it starts up here actually. So there's the mouth. There is the back of the throat, and this usually pops up. This is the oral pharynx. This is the laryngopharynx. If you back up, right in there would be where you can see where the laryngeal cartilage is, and this going down there all the way to here is the esophagus. So that long tube, like I said, on our little mannequin here, it'd be that long tube that comes down, and you can take that off. I don't have a photo where I did, and you can see how it comes down to this point. That's a good starting place. Stomach. Rugae, folds in the stomach, the cardiac region, the lower esophageal sphincter, which are valves, I'll go over that, the fundic region, the body, the pyloric region, and the pyloric sphincter. We're going to stay with our fancy model. Now, this is the whole stomach. If you take that off and make it a cross section, and I can make this bigger, which is why I do it like this. First of all, see the folds in here? Those are rugae. And where this comes down, now right there at the top, in that area, is called the lower esophageal sphincter. A sphincter is a smooth muscle. It acts like a valve. When food is in the stomach, its job is to keep food from going back up into the esophagus. Now, this area right below that, just right where I'm putting my little highlighted cursor, is called the cardiac region. It's got to be because stomach acid splashing on the esophagus is what heartburn is. This area at the top that's curved, that's called the fundic region, the fundic area of the stomach. All the way in the middle section here is the body of the stomach. This is not on your list. This is called the greater curvature. This is the lesser. And then you can see there where it gets really narrow in this area is the pyloric region. And then that part that collapses down, and you can actually see where it comes down like that, is called the pyloric sphincter. And then this section coming down that's got the lines in it, that's supposed to be like a folded inner lining, this is called the duodenum, which is the beginning of the small intestine. So there we go. So I showed you rugae, folds, cardiac region, right below where the esophagus connects to the stomach, the lower esophageal sphincter, the fundic region, the body of the stomach, the pyloric region, and the pyloric sphincter. Now if I go back, now on our computerized model, you can see the stomach, just give you a little hint. So there's the rugae, you can see it. You can see where the esophagus comes down. Now, that actually says right there, lower esophageal sphincter. And then up here, it just has stomach and some of the linings of the stomach. And then right down in there, it says the pyloric sphincter. So this area in the bottom, in fact, I'm going to make it where it's not. Okay, so there's the pyloric. Up here is the fundic. All of this is the body. The cardiac would be right in that area. And, one of the reasons I do this, you can actually, excuse me, you can actually see the rugae if I turn it that way. See the inside? All right, so on to our next body system. Small intestine, duodenum, jejunum, ileum. It's got 3 sections. On our little document here, it's this whole area here. Now you can actually see, this is the duodenum. It's very short, comes down. All of this in the middle becomes what is called the jejunum, and then now the jejunum can be up in this area, it's all folded, but the very end of the small intestine, you can actually see right there where it comes around, and it gets super narrow, and it connects to this area called the cecum, which is the beginning of the colon, or the large intestine. So that's the ileum. This terminal section is pretty long, it comes around like that. That's the ileum. The jejunum's in the middle. And like I said, here's the appendix, and this is the beginning of the colon. So those are all big body parts. Now on our little computerized diagram, I can actually click right there. I can get closer. Let me get this right here. There we go. You see it says duodenum, and it has its section in the back. Now I'm going to take away the colon just for a second. So there's the duodenum, comes down. It's pretty short. See where it ends, and then if I click right there, it has jejunum. If I back that up, and you can see, look, it's going all over the place. And then if you click on that part of it, and if you go down here where the cecum is, you can see right there where the ileum connects to the cecum. All right, on to the colon. The cecum, the little pouch here, you can, and I can back this up. This is just a picture of the lower, here's the liver. So there's the cecum. This coming up is called the ascending colon. This is the transverse, and then this coming down is the descending colon. And then the colon actually makes a little S curve in the back. That's called the sigmoid colon. You can't see that on this particular diagram. If we got super close, see here's the liver, stomach, and you can see the ascending colon coming up, the transverse going this way, and then the descending colon coming down. And then the appendix, rectum, anus, good section to be on. This is a section I believe that has the stomach. Yeah, there's the rugae. So just to review, here's the duodenum, the jejunum, and then the terminal end is the ileum. And here is the cecum, ascending, transverse, the descending colon. Now, this area in the bottom is called the rectum, and then right there is the anus, which is the terminal end, and I'm talking about just that little, it's actually a sphincter as well, the terminal end of the digestive tract. But this area up in here, and like it looks like it's got a letter there, but it's called the rectum, right there. I can't tell what the number is, but, and then see this area right in there, and that's actually, these lines are where there's a vein inside, and if there's pressure, builds up, the blood can't flow. That's where hemorrhoids comes from. But that's the anus, the terminal end of the digestive tract. So we're going to go over now some different organs and things with that. And the appendix, and I'm sorry to be bouncing back and forth, this tail section on the end is the appendix. I'll probably point that out as we go through. And like I said, here's the end of the small intestine. You can see the ileum. The pouch-looking cul-de-sac is the cecum, and that's where that would start. So on to the pancreas and the liver and some of the what are called accessory organs. The pancreas is pretty easy. It's right there, and this model is, you can't see it great. That little white, looks like a fish bone, is called the pancreatic duct. I have better pictures of the pancreas. This is another mannequin photo. You can see the liver, the stomach, small intestine, and that area would be where the cecum is. You can see the transverse colon and the descending colon. And And on this, you can actually see the esophagus here. All right, there's the liver, and then one more. There's the pancreas. Actually, not a great picture of that, is it? Oh, and then we got a tooth. Okay, well, anyway. There's the pancreas. See it? Looks like it's got the little bumps all in it. That's a pancreas. It sits right beneath the stomach. Liver. Liver has lobes. If you go back up here, if you take the liver out, you can see it here. And this is how it sits in the body. This earlier picture. See the liver across this way? This is the right lobe and the left lobe, and here's the stomach, and the pancreas will be behind that. So, liver lobes. Here, now there's a ligament that comes down the middle that separates it. Here's the right lobe. On this side is the left lobe. If you turn around to the back, you can see this is called the gallbladder. This little square area right there is called the quadrate lobe with a Q. And then this on top, that little area that goes right there, is called the caudate lobe with a C. So we cover 4 lobes. There it is there. See the caudate lobe? And then down here, the 113, the square, is the quadrate lobe. And this is the gallbladder. So right lobe, quadrate with a Q, caudate with a C, left lobe, gallbladder, and now the ducts. The gallbladder is responsible for storing bile. So there's one little pouch looking thing. That's the gallbladder. That's this one here as well. This tube that's coming off the gallbladder is called the cystic duct. And I'm going to go back up in our diagram and show you there as well. These 2 little forked areas coming down are called the hepatic ducts. There's actually a left and a right. We're not going to worry about that. And then this coming that way, and then these 2 coming from the liver sort of merge together to form, and I know that's very short. That's called the common bile duct. And I'll show you that on our computer diagram. So, okay, so here the 3 ducts. Now let me show you one more time. I'm going to move up. Move up and I'll get a little closer. So you can do this on your computer as well. It's going to kick me out. There we go. Thought it would. So here's the gallbladder. You can see the tube, and I'm going to move this, if I can, towards the middle. See that tube coming this way? That's the cystic duct. The 2, there's one going here, and this one going that way are the hepatic ducts. And I'm just showing you this because here these are merging together, and this green one coming down this way and coming down through here, and right here where it connects to the duodenum is the common bile duct. That's how bile gets from the gallbladder down into the duodenum. We covered that in lecture. All right, so there's the ducts. Now, the salivary glands and the tooth models, and that's about all we have left. Before I get there, I'm going to show you a few things. Here's the greater omentum, little drape that holds all the intestines together. So I'm going to take away the bones, and I'm even going to hide the stomach. I'm going to hide the colon, all of that. And you see the duodenum coming down from the stomach. I'm going to hide that. I can get rid of all of it. One more click there, and then it says the lesser omentum. I'm going to take that away. So if you get here, you can actually see the right lobe. You can see the left lobe. If I click on it, see it says left. If you turn it that way, in fact, let's just go to the back. I'm going to go up here, and there is the gallbladder. See? Up here it says caudate with a C, and if you go around, if I can get around to that, so before I make it go away, you can see the pancreas. See that? I'm going to make the pancreas go away. And this is cool. There's the pancreatic duct I was telling you about. I'm going to hide that, and even going to hide this little smaller section. So you can see there's the gallbladder, there's the cystic duct, and then up under here you can see the common hepatic duct. And if I get close enough, and I don't like to click around too much, you can actually see the little forking that says right and left hepatic ducts. But yeah, here's the cystic, here would be the hepatic, and it comes down, what is that? Oh wow. I took away the small intestine, but this would come around this way and go into the small intestine. So we're on to the home stretch. I try not to make these videos very long. This one is. Oh, I went the wrong way. My bad. Yeah, salivary glands. And we're going to be a little bit limited with our teeth. That's okay. At the very top of this, what I call our video document, from that computer program, I just made a diagram of the salivary glands, and I can show you those here in a second. Here's the parotid gland. Underneath is called the submandibular, and this one underneath the tongue. There's two of these. There'd be one on this side, one on the other. And the sublingual gland is underneath the tongue. They're underneath the tongue. If I go back to this, in fact, there's just a section, that one, that says salivary glands. So you can rotate it here. So there's the parotid gland. I can get really close, and you can see the little duct, which is what mumps is. When that duct gets inflamed is what mumps is. But see that giant gland in front of the ear? Remember the ear is here? So this is the parotid gland. Underneath the jaw, and I guess I could, well, I don't want to take that off. Make it look weird. There's the submandibular on that side. Here's the one on the other side. If I click on that one. And then if I turn I'm going to go up here to that part. Yes, I'll turn it this way. You can see on each side, if I get a little closer, those are the sublinguals. That says the left, that says the right. And you can actually see even here, see they're underneath the tongue in that area. All right, teeth. Now we do have models of teeth. We have different categories. We're going to have to we're not going to worry about incisors, cuspids, premolars, or molars, but we can do all this. So the crown, the root, what's called the enamel, dentin, pulp cavity. On the very bottom of your lecture, your lab, this is what I'm calling the video document. And while I'm getting there, just a little review. There's a liver. Don't worry about that. That's the gallbladder, back of the liver. Pancreas, and you can actually see the ileum and the cecum and the colon and all that. If you turn this around, this is one of our smaller, see the appendix here, and that's the sigmoid I was telling you about that curves in the back, the S. Okay, here is going to be our tooth model. Here is enamel. Well, first of all, the part that sticks up above the gums is called the root. The part below the gum the part that sticks up above the gums is the crown. The part below that is called the root. This white layer is enamel, and this yellow dense layer is dentin. And that middle section that's got some veins, arteries, and the nerve is called the pulp cavity. This happens to be a canine or cuspid that's pointed, but I don't have access to the tooth models at this point. So that will end our section on the anatomy of, as far as mannequin anatomy. And then here's a nice diagram. All right. Thanks for joining me.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.